Hi everyone and happy Monday. We have a fishy planner page today. Now this is quite a detailed picture. Obviously there are lots of doodles, I suppose we could say, within the fish. Now I'm going to start by doing it in quite a simple way, and then I'm going to decide whether I want to do very much with all the doodly areas. I hope I'm making a little bit of sense. I'm going to come in first closer. We don't want to be so far away. Now, let's get this sort of main body part in. That's it. I'm going to do the eye first. That's really easy. I'm using Staedtler Design Journey pencils because they sharpen to a nice fine point. But this is number 9, which is the black. So any brand will do here, just use the black. Now you can see in the eye there's this little teardrop shape. That is supposed to be left white as far as I can tell, to give us a little bit of reflection of light in the eye. I'm trying to make a much more intense layer around the outside and then a little bit less black towards the centre. I don't know if that always worked. I'm just looking in the camera. I think that might work. There we go. So that is the start, nice and simple. And we've got the bit around the eye that I'm going to do as well with, I think, a darkish grey. Let's go with the 890. You can use any sort of dark grey. Now we have a sort of floral looking pattern here. I'm going to ignore that. What I'm going to do is do all of this bit here, quite dark, some layering up, reduce the layers towards the top and bottom, like that. Then the same here, so dark here, a bit less towards the top, and a bit less towards the bottom. I'm going to put a little bit in there, but just not as much. So hopefully you can see that there's less here and there, and I wanted to make it look like maybe it's a little bit shiny. It might not come out that well, but that's the idea. And now that circle around the eye, I'm going to do in a lighter colour. I've just grabbed the number 80. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing. So a bit darker here, some layering up, less here and here, and a bit more here, less up there. Right, now I have procrastinated enough in deciding what colour to do my fish. Now, it's always quite tempting to do them blue, but the water is blue. I might do a watery background. I haven't quite decided yet, probably will. So I'm not going to do the fish blue, just in case I can leave my options open. Orange is always another option for me. I tend to do them orange a lot, but I'm thinking maybe not this time. Shall we do a sort of purpley violet colour? I think that might be nice. So I'm going to grab all those sort of purpley violet colours that I've got here. And I'm actually going to start, I think this is the darkest one. I'm just checking my swatch chart. No, this is the darkest one. This is actually called Slate Blue. It's 633, but I think it's a very purpley blue. Now, my approach is going to be, I'm going to split the fish into little sections, and I'm going to colour each section all over, ignoring all of the marks, doodles first, and sort of shade it as how I want to shade it. Then I'm going to decide whether I'm going to do any doodly bits. So my first section of fish is going to be this main body part, so this bit up to there, so ignoring the fins, and then I'm going to take this down to here. That looks like a natural place to end for me. So my darkest bit is going to be right at the bottom, so I'm going to start there. That's my starting point, and I'm going to sort of do a layer all the way along the bottom, just to sort of outline what I'm doing, really. So all the way around to here. Sorry, I'm just sort of semi-shading it, aren't I? Hang on, let's put the light on, it might help a little bit. Don't know, makes it look darker now. Anyway, around here. There we go. So we've just got a line. I'm going to do the same on the top and around the edge. So I'm going to just carefully take it around here. Sorry, it's taking a bit of concentration. The sun's coming out now. That's going to shine on the book as well. Typical sun is not actually shining on the bit I'm doing, so I'm going to leave it. I've just drawn over there because I was distracted. Good. Never mind. Yeah, me and one of my boys went out this morning. The other one was out with his dad. He was buying his new desk in IKEA. So me and my other son went out we'd run out of milk, and I said, let's go out quick while it's dry. So we tried. So we've now got an outline. What I'm going to do now is slightly scumble that inwards. Now a scumbling motion is our round and round motion. I'm going to start on this bit. Fade it in. Do you see what I'm doing? Just sort of scribbling it in. I'm going to do that all the way around. Yes, so we popped out and it was dry, and then as we were walking back, the rain started, got harder, and my son said, I bet I'll stop as soon as we get in. I said, what, as soon as we lock the door I'll stop? He's like, yeah. But actually it got harder when we got in, so we were quite pleased, but it's dried up again now. It's just typical British weather again, but we didn't get too wet, luckily. I think our coats were a little bit damp and the bags and stuff, but yeah. Actually, I forgot to ask my son if he put the shopping away. Anyway, we'll see. We just got some milk and cheese, you know, the basics, and some pitters, so we're nearly out of bread as well. So I'm trying to keep this the sort of same width. So down here, it's, you know, it's taking up nearly the whole of the body, whereas here it's not. I'm happy with that. It's just how it's working out. And once we've done this, we'll use a slightly lighter colour, and we'll just sort of work through our colours a little bit. Although I might do the fins and tail in different colours to the main body, but I haven't quite made up my mind yet. There we go. Next, we're going to use the violet, which is our number 6. I'm in two minds. Do I go over what I've done? I'm going to think about it while I erase that bit of scribble that I managed to do there. I don't know if it'll erase really. Oh, it's erasing a little bit. When you use a really sharp pencil, it's quite difficult to erase. Right, so violet, I am going to go over what I've done. It would add intensity anyway, like that. Now this bit will be completely filled by the time I've done this. I am trying to boo a little bit less in that centre area, just so it looks a little bit faded. I was watching a tennis match yesterday, and the British girl, who I have a lot of admiration for, she was 2 points away from winning, and it rained so hard they stopped the match, and then they didn't come back on court again. So she's supposed to be playing today, but I don't know what the weather's doing there. It's up north, so difficult to know. We have a little microclimate here because we're surrounded by hills, so yeah. I've been busy this morning. I put some videos up. I was trying to sort out an affiliate scheme that I'm a member of because something wasn't quite working properly. Not that I earn very much from it, but you know, if it works, at least you earn something. And then our street lamps in our street were on. Now it has been dark because of the rain, but they went off and then they came on, and I thought I can just report it on the council website, but oh no. The council website said this is an emergency because the only relevant slot was the street lamps are on in the day and off at night. Now, I don't think they were off at night, but obviously if street lamps aren't working at night, that is more of an emergency. So it said you have to phone. So I phoned. I spoke to a lovely, lovely lady. I got through right away, and I said, it isn't an emergency, but I couldn't do it on the website. She was like, oh, that's okay, and had a chat, and we sort of. She couldn't find quite the right place to report it on her computer system either, but she got there in the end. I'm just sort of going around the edge doing a fainter bit. Can you see? Like that. so it's sort of fading in. And my next colour, I think this will be my final one on the body. Actually, which one am I going to use? What's that? No, I'm not going to use that. This is the lavender, it's 62. And again, I might just go over all of it a little bit, but I need to make sure this bit is light in the middle there. Whereas here we're sort of taking our light a bit right towards the sort of centre of our fish. I don't know where the middle is really, it's sort of there, isn't it? I'll just see where my pencil takes me. I'm being quite relaxed about it, which is good. Yeah, my husband phoned and said they're on their way back from IKEA. He had a panic attack in the shop because he couldn't get out. He couldn't find the exit. I was like, well, didn't you ask someone? He said, yeah, we did in the end, and they sent us this way, and then I still couldn't find the way out. So, will you ask someone else? But anyway, I would have done had I been with him. I would have just looked for an exit sign and just asked someone. I mean, they are obviously huge shops, but anyway. Now he's got a lot of roadworks to drive through to get back again. But anyway, I assume it got busy because he usually only gets a panic attack when there's lots of people. I think I'm going to leave it. Now, in the camera, this looks very pale. There is some colour there. I'm just going to go over it a little bit, but I want it to look paler. Like that, and it gives our fish a bit of shape. We come out, I think we can appreciate that even more. It's a bit easier when it's not close up. Right, so we're going to do our fins. Now we've got two colours left that I grabbed, and maybe I'll use these two colours. So we have the 330, which is the slate, no, I'm lying, which is the powder blue, and we have the 602, which is the pastel violet. And I think we can probably use these two for our fins and tail. I'm sorry, my phone's ringing. Right, I am back. That was husband seeing if I needed any shopping. He was very close by, so I thought I'd wait for him to get home. So I'm going to use 330. As I said, this is called the powder blue, but it's got a purplish tinge. You'll see when I apply it. I'm going to, instead of fading in a circle like here, we're going to fade to the base of the fin. So we're going to go in here. You can see it's sort of slightly bluey, but I think it will work with my other colour, the what's it called, pastel violet. I was thinking it's a little bit bluey. I'm going to fade it now, start to really put less pressure on the pencil, just get a light fade like that. There we go. And we're just going to do the same for the other one. So I'm sort of fade it almost to the base. Yeah, we're going to do the same with this one. Yeah, they just got back from IKEA with the big desk. Well, it's obviously flat pack. They need to sort of sort it out, build it, I guess. Apparently they got lost in IKEA. Anyway, they're here now. They've got a desk to build. I'm really tempted to just offer to do it for husband to save him the stress of doing it, but I need to get on with this. I want to get my fishy coloured, and you know. So I do need to leave them to do things on their own. My son, he's doing it with him, whose desk is got a really calm personality. I barely ever heard him raise his voice. He doesn't get stressed. So hopefully that will help things. We're just doing a sort of lightly taking it across there. I've got a bit of here where it's not very dark. I'm just trying to make a nice transition of colour. I mean sort of spread from dark to light, because my next colour is quite pale, so it won't help me. There we go. Now the tail, let's just move it into shot. Big, isn't it? But only going to do the same colours. So, of course, if you want to make your fish much more colourful, absolutely you can. But I just felt it was rather overwhelming, and it's rather nice to have a planner picture that's a little bit simpler. I think, you know, last week's took us 4 days. The sun is shining on this page. I can see the shadow of my tripod here. I think I'm just going to ignore it for a minute. I'm not doing anything too difficult. You can see real shadow from my hand from the sun. Yes, so I wanted to keep it a little bit easier after such a big difficult one last week. But obviously, if you want to do something a little bit more detailed, a bit more complex, that's absolutely up to you. Now, what I would suggest is you could start with this base that I'm doing now, but rather than just leaving it, which is what I'm going to do once I finish this bit, well, not completely, but I'm not going to do too much more. You could draw over all of the detailed lines with some metallic sparkly pen, metallic pen, something like that, to give it a little bit more, I don't know what the word is, well, shine, sparkle, you know, something like that. It would take a long time. Now, I'd suggest you could do a purple on this one, a blue on these, or a silver on any of it, something like that. Or you could use a darker black and just fill in some of the details. There's lots of options. It's quite pale, but now we're going to use our 602 and just go over all of it again. So there are lots of options for you. There's a lot of blank space around this fish, so that gives you options too. If you can draw, you might want to draw in some more little fish to keep them company. You could draw in some bubbles, you know, some plants, you know, underwater foliage. You could draw in a little octopus, a jellyfish, a seahorse, treasure chest, all sorts of different options. I mean, this is from Lost Ocean. You could grab your Lost Ocean, you could trace some things to put around the fish, you know, but I'm not going to do any of those things. I'm going to keep it nice and simple. I'm in the mood for simple, to be honest. I was going to say I'm simple, but maybe not. I've still got that shadow from the sun, naughty sun. My camera seems to be slightly, yeah, you can see it here. That I don't know whether I should close the blind. Quite liking it being nice and bright in here, to be honest. Because when I close the blind and I'm just working by my lamp, it's quite dark. And I'm not doing anything that you need to see really clearly. Just simple stuff. What I am going to do is put a little bit of water in the background, but really simply. So that's that. It almost doesn't look like it's been coloured, but it has. And then these ones, these are a little more intense. Just put this colour on top of this, of it all. I might darken the tail a little bit in a minute. I'll see how it all looks, how it sits once we've done the fins. Had quite a productive morning. This is the only video I've done so far. I'm hoping to do a few more, but we'll see how that pans out later. As I say, I went shopping. Had someone call at the door just now asking for a person that doesn't live here. I recognised the name, which was really interesting. But anyway, maybe it's we often get post for houses with streets with similar names to us. So you know how you can get something close, something avenue, something gardens, something lane or whatever. Well, that happens around here. We have the same beginning name of a street to several others, and so I suspect that the person got the wrong name, and I said to her, do you want this street? And I pointed to where it was, or this street, and she said, I don't know. I am going to grab the 330 again. Just going to darken this bit, go out of the lines, you should have to do that. Darken this bit a little bit here near the top. You don't have to do this, yours might look fine, I just feel like it needs a bit. So yes, so that kept me busy. Someone at the door. I also had a few, I had to, yeah, gosh, that sun is bright now. I'm going to stop, and I'm going to close the blind before I do the background, but I'm just putting a little bit more of this in. There we go. I'm going to leave it there. As I said, I'm just going to close the blind and everything will plunge into darkness, and then the camera will adjust. I will zoom out a bit because, well, I'm going to be, as I say, doing a bit of a background. Actually, I could do with a piece of paper off the windowsill. Just grab one. Put it underneath, just because I'm going to be using some soft pastels, and it'll make a mess down the side of the book if I'm not careful. Let's just move my pencils out of the way and grab my pastels. Oops. Yeah, see, the only problem now with the blind shirts, you can really see the lamp glare. Look at that. But let's open the pastels up. Okay, now onto some water in the background, and I have this fabulous stencil which I'm just going to try to find, which is like waves. I think I've used it before in a video. There. Okay, that's really hard to see, isn't it? Let's put it under here, hang on. There, look. Sorry, that's the piece of foam from the pastels. So you can see we've got different, slightly different wave patterns. I'll probably use this thick one. It's a little bit easier on a big page. And what I'm going to do is grab a pastel. Oops, sorry, just make myself some space by clearing away all the detritus on my desk. Choose a pastel and then just do a background. Now it's tempting to do a bluey green for C, like this one here, but because we've got purples here, I think a blue is going to work better, and I'm probably going to use this one. It's a slightly turquoisey blue here, then like that. And then I'm going to grab my wave template. Let's bring you into shot a bit more, and I'm just going to put it diagonally like that across the corner, and then just brush over it with my I don't know where the edge of the paper is. There we go. And then I'm just going to work my way down the page, doing the same thing over and over. And when I get to the fish, I'm going to try not to go over the fish, but sometimes I think maybe I should, because the fish is in the water. But I think it tends to interfere with the colouring on the fish, so I'll probably wait. There's a bit more, look. I don't know how well you can see actually. And then I think I'm going to move down here. I'm trying to keep the angle the same if I can. It's not too easy. There we go. Make sure you do this bit in here, though, in between the fish, between his fins and his body. Like that. I'm just going to keep going. Grab some more. Grab a bit more pastel dust each time. I think that's a slightly different angle. It doesn't matter too much because the water isn't always at exactly the same angle, I guess. And if you overlap a bit, that also doesn't matter too much because the waves would overlap and you'll get some sort of darker and lighter areas, which actually looks a little bit more natural. Oops, I've gone over the end there then. And I did the same up there. And before I do my next bit, I'm just going to erase those bits. You can see the the soft pastel will erase. Okay, I don't want that sort of straight line happening, and then I shall just brush off those bits, get them out of our way, straighten them up, get a bit more pastel, and off we go. So our angle is about there, so I'm sort of going to go over here now. Just heard a train go by. And a bit under here. It's always a bit tricky to know how far to go with the rings, you know, the binding here on the edge, but just guessing really. I think this is rather effective. If you don't have a stencil like this, you could just put a blue background, or you could draw in a few lines, but yeah, that assumes you can draw. I never assume people can draw because I think it's really hard. Some people are just naturally really good at it, or confident. Maybe it's a confidence thing, I'm not sure. I'm just going to do this bottom corner. Got enough pastel. Yeah, I don't know if I can do a link for this stencil. I'll try and put one in the description because it's a really useful one. I've got another bit of a line there which I'm not very keen on. I'm going to try and eliminate that. Just join it up a bit. There we go. So there is our sort of impression of water behind our fish. And whoops, my last thing I'm going to do, I've got a bubble one. Here it is. I'll just show you that like that. And I'm going to put some bubbles coming out of the fish's mouth, but I'm not going to use this pastels. I'm going to use some pens. So I'm just going to pop these pastels away because I'll spill them otherwise. I've done it before, learnt my lesson. Let's get it in the box. I'm going to use a glittery pen. I could use silver. I think I will use silver. Just metal. I think glitter's better, not metal. I've got Stardust. This is my silver glitter pen, but it doesn't matter what brand you use. I like this brand. And I'm not going to do very big circles. You can see I've got loads of different sizes. You can see them there. I'm just going to use this size, I think. And I'm just going to put one. And then I'm going to go slightly smaller above it. I'm being really careful because I know I can easily smudge this pen. And then one a bit higher still, maybe there. There we go. I'm going to leave it there. I think if I try and do anything else, I'll spoil it. Now, as I say, with a silver pen, you could go around the outline of the fish. You could do all the detailing, anything you like, really. Take that away. But I am keeping it nice and simple. So there it is, all done. Didn't take very long, did it? It's quite nice to have a quick one, I have to say. Means I can fit in something a bit different. I felt like last week was just planner. But there we go. I think he's quite cute. Johanna does draw a lovely fish. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a super Monday, and tune in tomorrow for something different. Please do like, subscribe and comment. Thank you so much, and happy colouring.